Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. And it's Wednesday, it's January 9th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And there was an FOMC announcement today, and generally that'll just lead to a kind of a range day until that news comes out. And of course, if there's any surprises, a lot of times you'll get some big moves and some crazy price action. We got a little bit of action after it today, a little bit of a sell-off here, um, but it didn't last long. We just kind of took it back and then went into this little sideways action that we're still going in now. It's not quite 3 o'clock, but our cutoff time is 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I want to get out of here today um, instead of hanging around since I'm not really trading. And um, until I get to feeling a little better, I'm probably going to keep my hours cut back a little bit. So anyway, you can see the sideways action. The overnight lows held. Look like we may continue to sell off, and that's why I'm always telling people uh, you got to respect this low until it proves it's not in play. So you might have even considered a long right here, just because it's a nice bullish bar so far away, and you've got 2 clear legs down. That's one that you might consider. I just think you're always better off to wait on the higher low, but you don't really get one until you're back to the EMA, and then you got to be real careful at that point. So I'll give that one a green one. And of course, this in the blue is the 12 to 1 o'clock, and then of course probably 30 minutes afterwards the market might be a little bit iffy. So generally you don't want to trade during that time. There's a measured move. I did a measured move up here just in case we went higher than that, where you might look for it to go, but it was really right back to this high here that we made not long after the open, not during the 9 o'clock hour, and you can see we got back to that. We actually went a little higher than that. So for the most part, this was a range day. It's a big range though, and so there's a little bit of room here. This was a fairly nice trend up. There's not a whole lot of trades there, but we'll back out. We'll go through the trades, and I'm going to wrap it up and get out of here. Let's see. I'm going to get out where we can see these bars just to make it a little bit easier. Having to get way out due to all the bars and the volatility. But this little trend here was working back to the top during the 7 o'clock hour, and of course we made the high, then we made a lower high, and then we made a third test here. Notice though, you get a close outside, a move to a new high, and then it turns down. I like this one simply because it's a third touch, or a third. It's like a double test. Notice you made the high, you test it once, you test it twice. Relatively bearish bar, I like going short there. You would hope it would take on off here. It didn't. It ended up bouncing, but it still worked. It was an easy trade, really. And then prices ran back up again and made another high here, testing this overnight high one more time. And then we made a lower high. I liked going short on that bearish bar right there, figuring you would at least get two legs. And of course, then you got a failed second entry long. And it came back and made another. You actually get a break of this little trend working down, and another test. That's like a double test. You made that high, test it once, twice. Another chance to go short right there. And again, you hope it heads to the other side, but it doesn't. The prices wanted to work higher here. There's a failed second entry short here. I don't like it because it's right back into these highs. You can see all that resistance right there. I don't think you want to take that. Then you come back and you push through the overnight highs and come back and test it, and you get a bullish bar, but then you make this inside bar. It's a first entry, and look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars stacking up there. 1, 2, there's 4 matching highs. That's not a very good entry. Of course, that's your break, and that's your first break of this trend line, so you expect it to try to push higher, but you got to be careful. And then we actually make a new high, then a lower high here with a bearish bar. It's still a little ways from the EMA, so I like that one. You got a third touch here, but it made a higher high than this last few bars, and it's a really bullish bar, so I don't think you want to go short there. You get a lower high here. Again, the bar's too bullish, and inside bars can be iffy. I don't like that one. and you've tried to go higher once, twice, and so now you got a good place to go short under the EMA, and it's good for a scalp, and that's it. And this one got exactly what you have to get out, and that's why we don't go for even one tick more um, before it bounced and heads lower again. And unfortunately, you don't really get a good chance. You do get a close outside and a move to a new high here, all in one bar. That's a fairly bearish bar, but it's an inside bar, so I don't think you want to go short there. There's another chance to go short here. Again, not a great signal bar. It is off the key entry point, so that's a possibility. But again, it's another little inside bar. You might give this one a green one. I'm just not crazy about it. I just don't think you want to enter there. It's a shame that you don't have a better setup, because this was two nice legs down, but you just don't get a good setup. We talked about this one. This was the overnight low down here, and look how far away we are from the EMAs. It's not a perfectly bullish bar, though, either. But you might risk that one, because a lot of times you catch an important low for the day, if not the low of the day, and that was the low of the day and an important low of the day, and you could have ridden this on up, or at least back to the highs here. You're better off to wait on the reversal pattern, which really doesn't come. You get a second entry right here. Notice that high, first entry, second entry. But that's true congestion right at the EMA. That's a true doji and more than 3 bars stacked up. So I don't think you want to go long there. You finally get this is a double bottom, so that's like a new low. So you tried to go lower twice there. I like going long there just to try to ride that up. When it failed, you might consider a short there. But with this being basically a double bottom and that being still above the EMA, I don't know if it's worth risking or not. It would have worked. This is another one that got exactly the number of ticks you needed. Wouldn't have got one tick more. But I'd probably skip that one. And if it does fail, I'd go long right there, because then you got a double test of this low. And that's a pretty good setup. I don't have my line drawn across here, but you can see that right there. And that's really the place to enter and go long there. And then we come back, you get a second entry long here. Technically it's not, because you got a little break higher, but that's really 2 legs down right here, but that's too bearish. You get a higher low here, but you're right back into this overnight high. And then finally you push down, you get a first entry, then you come back, you get a second entry, and it does confirm this trend line right here. So when the bar broke above that bar, I like going long right there. It would have been good for a scalp. You just need to make sure you had room to get out before here. If you didn't, I wouldn't have taken that. And this is like a little congestion, so a little trading range, and that's like a little failed break lower too. It's tempting to want to go long here as well. There's actually a failed second entry short here, but you don't want to go long right into that, especially when prices have tried that many times to get through. It does come back and test it here, but you get a bullish bar, no break above it, a bearish bar inside. It's too bearish. And that just kind of gets you into the 1 o'clock hour. And then we finally come out of that where it's probably safe to trade. And notice this is really even though this didn't quite make the same low, you can treat this like a double bottom. And then you move up, first entry, and you move through, pull back, second entry short, it fails, a nice bullish bar. I like going long there. And that gave you a nice little move right up into the 2 o'clock hour. And there's another little second entry long right here. Notice pullback first entry, pullback second entry. This actually went lower when it turned and went higher. You could have gone long there, so that's another one. It's right into the 2 o'clock hour, but it's close enough that you could probably go for that one if you wanted to. And not much has happened since then. So there it is. Not anything like we've had yesterday or Monday, but there's some trades here. You just got to be careful. You really had to just kind of play this as a trading range early, and then this pretty much was a trend here. So, but you have to be careful getting into that 1 o'clock FOMC news. So But anyway, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I want to get out of here today. I'm just trying to rest as much as I can and not overdo it yet. But I want to get this out. So I hope everybody had a good trading day. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our week. Tomorrow's Thursday, so it'll be a short week since I didn't do one Monday, and I'm still not going to do any chart lessons on Fridays. But I will come in and do one tomorrow. So hope you had a good trading day. I'll see you tomorrow, but I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.